Control things you can control, and not just obsess over the things that bother you if you can't control them. What about that can I control? How can I affect the outcome? How can I affect the change? And a lot of this, just the way you look at it, it's literally just your viewpoint. You gotta look on the entire situation. If you choose it to be negative, you'll confirm its negativity.
Welcome back to the Mulligan Brothers podcast, and today we have a clip from our interview with DJ Shipley. So many of you know him from SEAL Team 6 and the amazing work that he's done around the world, sharing his message and his wisdom and some of those stories. And here's another exclusive video from DJ Shipley. Today's episode, as always, is sponsored by Huel. I'll talk about these a little bit more later on in the video, but this is the Huel Black Edition that I have been using for the past 3 months now. I think that Huel's had Black Edition ready to drinks out, and it's an absolute game changer. So find out more with a link down below. Let's dive into the video.
Yeah, it's usually a morning routine. I got some cold plunge, quick shower, fitness, 20-minute walk. We go back, make everybody a protein shake, take a shower, and then kind of start the day.
And do you see it as valuable for your team to be like connecting over the workouts and the walks and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, just a chance to check in, kind of line priorities for the day, priorities for the week. If anybody's got any stuff going on, we kind of talk about it now. Really try to take the 20-minute walk to kind of sync up, but not make it a bitch fest session. Like a lot of guys want to kick off Monday morning and just they'll start this negative spiral. Like, I'm guilty of it too. I just try to be mindful of how many people can't do a walk, how many people don't have legs to do a walk, don't have the ability to control their day or their routine, and just be thankful for the opportunity. We're going to kick off Monday in a positive way. Let's do the entire morning routine in a positive way. Because once we break, after that protein shake, me, Jared, everybody, we're kind of a slave to the masses. Oh, you're going to get pulled in 50 different directions. So if we can just be a little selfish right now in the morning block that doesn't affect anybody else but us, it really just sets a positive tone for the rest of the week and the rest of the day. If not, we're human like everybody else. You wake up 30 minutes late, trying to rush the kids ready. Now you miss the gym. Now that school bus that wasn't in front of you, now it is. Now you're late for work and a big meeting. Your whole week is just a big cycle of mess. We can wake up and kind of just stack up consecutive wins over and over and over again. Did I wake up at the same time? Did I get my fitness in? Did I get my 20-minute walk in? Was I positive first thing in the morning? If I start making that like a repeatable cycle, then when you introduce something negative, I am late, there is a conflict. When you look at it, percentages, it's such a small percentage, it's almost just a rounding error. Like that one anomaly, that one negative thing, it's not even really a thing because I've had 65 wins before 10 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
Got up, ate right. Yeah. Control things you can control, and not just obsess over the things that bother you if you can't control them. Try to be mindful of that when I'm walking around.
So like it's you spoke about sort of the opposite, the negative spiral side of things as well. Is it like a thing of good versus bad? Like, are you trying to just outweigh the negative at all times?
I am. Because a lot of people, they enjoy the negative. It gives them something to talk about. They relish in it. And I used to be like that. The glass was always half. Wasn't half full, wasn't half empty, it was just half. And when you say things like that, they automatically start to trend in a negative manner. So I'm just happy I have something. But I try to find the positive. That naturally just starts to rub off on people. Like even if people introduce something negative, you just overwrite it with a positive. Kind of just combating it all day.
How do you talk about the issues that you guys are facing when you're walking around and talking to each other without it coming across as like glass half empty kind of thing?
I think for those, when you're searching for strength inside of the group or just openness, you just say it. Like if we're going around, I've got something that's kind of wearing on me. It's not bringing the group down. I see it as I'm opening up for the group, kind of sharing it. I'm not trying to put my negativity or whatever this is on you. I'm asking for some general feedback, or I just want to share it. Like, hey, I got this going on, or, I got this going on with my kid's school, or whatever it might be. Just trying to put it out in the atmosphere and trying to figure out a way around it. Just sharing it with like-minded people. Not trying to start a hate train. It's not like, oh, I really hate this. Try to come from a place of openness and understanding. And I know it sounds kind of foo-foo, but from somebody who's lived in such a negative light for so long, It's like any bit of positivity you can pull in just makes it that much more better. I don't know. It makes the group better.
Is it possible to come from it? I know some of these questions might seem a bit obvious, but I think for some people it's hard to see it this way. But is it possible to come at negative issues or things you're struggling with positive intention? You know, like instead of coming at it from a negative angle, can you come at it from a positive angle, even when it's difficult and hard?
Especially if you're trying to find the positive. That's what a lot of people do. That's definitely what I did. Is you see a hardship or you see a negative and you immediately want to confirm its negativity. So you just start to overlay just negative on top of negative on top of negative. Vice, you look at the exact same problem through a light of positivity. Like, what about that can I control? How can I affect the outcome? How can I affect the change? And a lot of this, just the way you look at it, it's literally just your viewpoint. You gotta look on the entire situation. If you choose it to be negative, you'll confirm its negativity. The confirmation bias.
Yeah.
I want that to be negative. It is negative. Hey, you. Confirm that's negative. And now you start to draw people in, or even the engagement. It'll start off in a negative tone, like, God, don't you hate? And it's like, well, you're already trying to confirm my bias. You're trying to tell me I already hate that. Like, well, sometimes, like, there's a little thread they're trying to pull on there. It's like if you're mindful of it and you're aware enough of it, you can combat it a little bit. Like, I actually don't think about that at all. Like, really? And we'll start to unwind them a little bit. But if you're not hyper aware of it, or if you're not aware that your words matter, your tone matters, your delivery matters, a lot of times your passive conversation comes off as ultra negative. And for people, especially me, I'm super sympathetic to it now. So when it starts, it's like, oh God, I just want to like push it away from me. Because I am. I'm an emotional person, I'm passionate. And when things start to coat me in that negativity, I don't want to be around it.
But how important is it to be around a group of people who hold each other accountable in that way?
I mean, to me, it's super important now. And even, there's different layers of accountability. There's different styles of accountability. I think overall, just surrounding people that, they're not perfect people. They realize they're not, but they're making a conscious effort to be a little better every day. And I think just that in itself, surrounding people who are on the same path, the same progression, it'll naturally rub off on you. So on those days when you're not at 100%, on the days when you do roll out of bed and you are in a suboptimal setting, the people around you can draw energy from. That's really what you try to do. Just surround people that are on the same path. They're all positive. They're all stronger than me. They're all better than me. So when I'm in search of some positive energy I'm trying to draw from, I can just pull from anybody in the room. If you surround yourself with people that are just low and negative and hateful all day, when you're trying to draw some positivity, there's nothing to draw from. It's like, well, I have to leave this circle to another one. Like, I don't want to do that. Just kind of keep your circle small.
I hope you're enjoying this video so far. Today's video, as always, was powered by Huel. Huel has been an absolute game changer for me and my life. I love drinking their Black Edition. They're ready to drink. It has 26 vitamins and minerals, 35 grams of protein, and slow release carbs. When I know that I can just reach into my bag and grab a bottle of Huel on the go, it has changed my life. And as I'm training for the world's heaviest marathon right now, where I lift 220 pounds of weight for 26.2 miles, and then I do 450 miles with 70 pounds on my back, Huel has been my go-to fuel. Don't just take my word for it. The hardest geezer who ran the length of Africa also downs a couple bottles of Huel whilst he's on his run. So if you want to join someone like Hardest Geezer, or if you've just got a busy life in general, Huel can be an absolute game changer. Head to the link in the description where you can find out more about Black Edition and other products of Huel, and some exclusive offers down below. Thank you to Huel for sponsoring the video. Let's dive back into the episode.
Are you 100% positive all the time?
No. I try to be, and I try to control the things I can. I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm the most realistic person I know. It's like, there's just so much negativity everywhere. And I try to compartmentalize as much as I can. Try to avoid the things I can't avoid. Because if I can't, I'll end up just wearing it. If I just surround myself with it all day long, because I can't control all my days. There's people I have to interact with, and, social media is a black hole and everything else. So I kind of get used to that. Well, I mean, try to be positive, and I try to push it out there. One, 'cause it makes me better, it makes other people around me better. And at the end of the day, I want to be more positive. So if I just naturally keep applying steady pressure to that, I will rise above it eventually. But not if I'm not mindful of it.
You know, when you talk about compartmentalizing things, is there I think when I think of that word, I think of like negative connotations to it sometimes as well. But like when you talk about like trauma or difficult times and stuff like that, is that a right viewpoint to have, or do you know, once you compartmentalize it, do you objectively look at it sometimes, or you just kind of like push it down?
It all depends. Sometimes I compartmentalize to protect myself. Like I'm trying to compartmentalize my positivity. We'll just say you're totally toxic and negative. As soon as you come up, I naturally throw up a little block. I'm just not going to let you invade my space. I'll keep you at arm's distance. And it's not really for me being selfish. It's right now I don't have the bandwidth to give you anything. So it's a lot easier for me just to throw it up, keep you at arm's distance, and then as soon as you're gone, I can go back on my merry way. And Vern's got one, like, can't save everybody. You just can't. And right now, you're like an octopus outlet. Everybody's just plugging into you. They're just drawing energy, drawing power from you all day long. And if it's a negative source, it feels like they draw twice as much. Like, you know, I've got so many people I've got to deal with, contend with, and try to support, that if I just let people bleed me down, they will. Like, people want what you have, and a lot of it is just, they're trying to bring you down to their level. So if I just naturally just try to elevate up, to me, it's been a saving grace. If I just surround myself with people that are better than me, I don't mind being last, because I'm still pretty good. But if I surround myself with everybody who's lower than me, they'll naturally just pull you down. Save the ones you can.
Yeah, I love that. You want to save everybody. It's funny because I think when you're in that position where you can help people, you start to get into the idea that you could save everybody, but it's kind of...
Well, that's exactly what happens is you want to, and the people that really need you, they get whatever's left, which is usually nothing. People naturally, you know, good people, they're naturally sacrificial in nature. I feel like women are really sacrificial in nature, especially mother types. You know, we'll call them 25 and above. They start to take on that nurturing role and they really try to save everybody. That's why you see women in these toxic relationships, because they're trying to save them. They're trying to save them. Men are the exact same way. Like, you want everyone to be happy and content, and how can I fix this situation? How can I make this better? And at the end of the day, 6 o'clock comes running around, you've drained everything from your emotional battery, and you get home to your family, and there's nothing left to draw from. So the kids need a dad, wife needs a husband, and you have nothing left to give them. I feel like we all just kind of live that forever. It's like, well, if I'm not purpose built, if I'm not focused on who I'm giving my time and attention, my detail to, I just give it to everybody. It's like that instant respect thing. Like, you have to earn respect. I feel like we just give it to everybody. We want to be trusting by nature, and it ends up biting you in the ass more often than not. So if I slow it down a little bit and I'm a little more purpose built with it, a little more focused, then I can control it.
How did you do that with I know you said you had a moment where you cut all the relationships off, the toxic relationships off that you had in your life. But how did you do it when there was a lot of history there? I wanted to save people, you know, there was history there.
I used my experience to guide me. I sat down with my wife and we went through everything, and you know, all the people I'd been trying to save, or all the people I was trying to foster this relationship with, I'm trying to save this relationship. Like, they'll come back around, I can fix this, I can fix this. Well, history shows me it's not the truth. It's like I've been trying to fix that relationship for the better part of a decade. Like, steady pressure, 10 years. Like, for what? It's like I'm exhausted right now. And if you look at that, like, there's 100 of those. Like, every time I get around that person, I feel worse. Every time I get around that person, you know, I don't perform as well. My anxiety spikes up. This happens, that happens. Like, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, I don't have enough time. I think that's one of the things that I started to realize is time's the only thing I can't get more of. And I'm wasting my time on a couple of people or a couple of scenarios or groups of people that don't really serve me. They don't serve my people. I'm not wasting any more time on you. Like, you don't actually want me to get better. You're keeping me here because I can anchor you and you can pull me down. It's like I'm trying to tread water and you keep pushing my head under. Why? Eventually you just got to cut them out.
What do you think the nature of that is for humans to try and pull people down? I always thought it was,
Misery loves company.
yeah,
We used to say that in Buds. Misery loves company. It's the truth. You know, people are down, they're dark, they're depressed, or whatever. They want a buddy. If they're an alcoholic and they want to drink, they want you to drink too. It's like they don't care you're 10 years sober. They want a drinking buddy. It's like they don't think about second, third order effects because they're consumed by it. Sometimes it takes a person an outside perspective just to see that and go, no. But it is hard. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done. To sit down and just go, no. Block them and erase them.
was there fallout? Was there backlash?
No, because I never went back. I'm sure there would have been if I would have tried to end that relationship and justify it. I'm not trying to justify it. I already did in my mind. We already made our decision. Block and delete. It's like 1,000 pounds off my shoulders. Stop losing sleep over it. Stop caring. Now I can just focus my time and attention where it's best suited. Yeah, it's been the best decision we ever did.